Have you ever felt that sting of jealousy when someone else just seems better? Maybe it's a friend who aces every test without even trying, a sibling who picks up new skills effortlessly, or a classmate who's a star athlete. You look at them, then you look at yourself and wonder, why can't I be like that? It's a heavy feeling and it can make you doubt your own worth. If you've ever felt that way, I want you to listen closely. Today's story is going to completely change how you see yourself and your own potential. Because what if I told you that success isn't about being the best at everything? What if it's about finding that one thing that makes you come alive and pouring your heart into it? Let me tell you about a 12-year-old boy named David. He lived in a small, quiet town, and he was one of those kids who just bursts with energy. Every single afternoon after school, you'd find him on the local field, a soccer ball glued to his feet, completely lost in the game. For David, soccer wasn't just a hobby. It was his entire world. But one day, the cheerful, energetic David disappeared. He came home from school, his shoulders slumped, and threw his bag onto the couch. He just sat there, staring at his math textbook with a blank expression. His father noticed his son's unusual quietness and came to sit beside him. "What's wrong, David?" he asked gently. David let out a long sigh. "I got a bad grade in math again, Dad. It doesn't matter how hard I study, I just can't do as well as Matt. He always gets the top marks. I wish I could be like him." His father didn't lecture him or tell him to study harder. Instead, he smiled softly. "Come with me," he said, leading David out into their backyard garden. The afternoon sun was warm, filtering through the leaves, and a gentle breeze made the whole place feel calm and peaceful. "David," his father began, "I want to teach you 3 lessons that will help you for the rest of your life. But instead of just telling you, I'm going to give you 3 small challenges. Are you ready?" David, curious, nodded eagerly. "Okay," his father said. "The first one is simple. Tomorrow, I want you to invite Matt to play soccer with you." The next day, David did just that. After school, he and Matt met at the field. From the very first kick, it was obvious who the star player was. David was a blur of motion. He ran faster, his passes were sharp and precise, and he scored 3 goals in no time. Matt, on the other hand, was clumsy. He kept stumbling over the ball, his shots went wide, and he spent most of the time apologizing for his mistakes. But here's the interesting part. By the end of the game, they were both laughing and having a great time. That evening, David ran home and told his father everything that happened. His father listened quietly, then said, "That's your first lesson, son. Matt may not be good at soccer, but he is brilliant at math. You may not be a genius in math, but you shine on the soccer field. Everyone has different strengths. You don't have to be like anyone else. Your greatest power is already inside you. You just have to find it." For the first time in weeks, David smiled. He didn't feel bad about his grades anymore. Instead, he felt a spark of pride for what he could do well. But his curiosity was just getting started. "Dad, what's the second lesson?" His father replied, "For your next challenge tomorrow at school, I want you to just observe Matt. Watch him carefully, especially when he's around numbers. Notice how he practices." The next day, David became a detective. He watched Matt solve math problems in the few minutes between classes. He saw him counting his change meticulously during recess. He even noticed Matt absent-mindedly counting the petals on a flower outside the classroom. For Matt, math wasn't just a subject. It was a game he played all day long. That evening, David reported his findings to his father, who nodded in understanding. "And that is the second lesson," he said. "Matt is good at math not because he's lucky, but because he practices it constantly. He enjoys it, so he keeps doing it. And that's how you build any skill, through love and repetition. You do the exact same thing with soccer. You play every single day, and that's why you're so good at it." David finally understood. If he wanted to get better at anything, even a subject he found difficult like math, he couldn't just cram before an exam. He needed to practice it regularly. But he still had one challenge left. "What's the last lesson, Dad?" His father thought for a moment. "Tell me, how much better do you think Matt is at math than you are?" David hesitated. Maybe 3 times better?" His father smiled. "All right. Then tomorrow, I want you to try to study math 3 times harder than you normally would. Let's just see what happens." The next afternoon, David sat at his desk, filled with a new sense of determination. He opened his math book and started studying. He focused for 1 whole hour, then another. But by the time he started the third hour, his head was spinning. The numbers on the page started to blur together, and before he knew it, his head was resting on his textbook, fast asleep. That night, his father gently woke him up. "Dinner's ready. Come out to the garden after you eat." David walked outside, feeling a bit embarrassed. "I'm sorry, Dad, I failed the challenge. I really tried, but my head started to hurt, and I just fell asleep." His father didn't look disappointed at all. He put a comforting hand on his son's shoulder and said, "No, David, you didn't fail. You just learned the third and most important lesson. When you force yourself to master something you don't love, the effort feels heavy and painful. But when you work on something you're passionate about, that same effort feels light. Time flies by. That, my son, is the power of passion." David looked up, his eyes wide with realization. "So, what should I do, Dad?" His father's answer was simple, yet profound. "You have two choices. Either study what you love or learn to love what you study. That is the only real path to growth." That night, David made a promise to himself. He would carry those 3 lessons with him forever. First, everyone has unique strengths. Second, consistent practice is what turns talent into mastery. And third, passion makes hard work feel effortless. From that day on, David stopped comparing himself to Matt. He still studied math, but he approached it with curiosity instead of dread. And when he played soccer, he played with more joy and focus than ever before. He knew that every time he stepped onto that field, he wasn't just playing a game. He was building his dream, one kick at a time. So the next time you find yourself comparing your journey to someone else's, remember David's story. You don't have to be perfect at everything. You just need to discover what makes you feel alive, and then give it your all. Because when your passion meets your effort, success isn't just possible, it's inevitable. Thank you so much for watching. If this story resonated with you, please hit that like button and subscribe for more content that helps you unlock your own potential. See you in the next video.